It is time now for all things current in California politics. Once again, our guest this week, Rich Eisen, editor-in-chief of Capital Weekly publication. Rich, let's put up the newest poll here that just came out on Friday morning. Everybody was anxiously awaiting this one. Actually came out Thursday morning. What do you see here? What you probably see is no Eric Swalwell. Where did his numbers go?
Well, it certainly seems right now that Xavier Becerra, of course, the former attorney general here in California, got the biggest bump, which is actually somewhat surprising to a lot of people. I think a lot of folks thought maybe Katie Porter and Tom Steyer, but certainly Becerra has pretty much doubled his poll numbers, a little more than doubled his poll numbers.
So Katie Porter pick up some Swalwell?
Well, it really doesn't seem like she's got a bump from it yet. Okay. It's entirely possible still that she could, but right now, like I say, I think Xavier Becerra seems to be the one who has grabbed the initial bit. Okay. Though, again, I think a lot of this is going to go back to, where some of the big endorsements come down. That might also affect this. Okay,
let's talk about Becerra, who picked up a fair amount in the polls here. I was just texting back and forth with Mike Madrid, who's the Latino voting pollster strategist there, and they've tripled in size an event in Los Angeles going on for him. They had to move it to the convention center. Money is now rolling in for Becerra. What's your take on that?
Well, it actually is a little bit surprising because, he had been down in single digits for so long, it would have seemed that as big a deal as it is that Swalwell has dropped out, that, how do you go from 5%, 4% up to where he's at right now? But he is the only truly viable Latino candidate left in the race. I'm sorry, Antonio Villaraigosa, but I would say that, maybe that is something, again, as we get closer to the actual primary, a lot of folks are taking another look at him. And it's entirely possible that this could have some legs.
40% of California residents are Latino. That's the largest group in the state. I mean, that's right there for him. It's a pot of voting gold, is it not? How does he reach those people?
Well, I mean, you mentioned you were talking to Mike Madrid. I mean, the Latino vote is anything but a monolith, right? There are a lot of folks in the Latino community in that 40% that are, they're a Republican or they're, very center left or right, they don't really fall into some of these far end camps. And so, he's still got to have a message that resonates with them. And really in this day and age, affordability is the message. And it is the one, I think, regardless of what else you have going for you, you need to be able to convey that message.
So back to that poll, Hilton and Bianco are still running 1 and 2, even with Swalwell out. Just 25% of registered voters are Republican in the state. How are the numbers 1 and 2 Republican with 25% voting in the state, GOP?
Well, I do think that a big part of that is how many Democrats are in the race. I mean, I think it's worthy of note. If you look at all of the numbers in their totality, you've got about 31% that are favoring one of the 2 Republicans, which means everybody else is favoring somebody other than one of those 2 Republicans. 69% essentially are anybody other than these 2. So I think this is part of what is giving people like Democratic Party Chair Rusty Hicks heartburn, is that with all of these Dems still in the race, every one of them is still siphoning a little bit off of that total. And so I think that's a part of why you are seeing that right now.
Okay, that's Rich Eisen, Capital Weekly, with all things current in California politics. Rich, thank you as always.